And how many people do you think they suffer from mental illness in this country?
The
Most
world.
especially, we see that from the jobs. Most of the people they complain about it. So what do you have to say?
Well, people are complaining about the jobs, and that's why they got mental illness and the stress in that. I said like this guy, for example, okay, me being on the street, we're getting bothered by CCID guys. Not bothered, but you know, yeah, I've kind of bothered them. You guys seen it yourself, and they're like, yeah, but you know what I mean, sucks and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, sure, but dude, you chose that job. You know what I mean? If you don't like the job, change the flipping job. You know what I mean? If you're complaining the job's stressing out, you don't want to like the job, then change the job. But in that same, sentence, it's very difficult because you want to hold on to a job because it's so scarce. So I mean, yeah, that's why I think it is. It's just too much pressure because you're putting pressure on yourself to keep the job, but you're putting pressure on yourself, and everyone's wishing they were somewhere else.
So why people require, like, when you go look for a job and then they require you to have experience, but it's an entry level. Why do you have to do such kind of thing, though,
Well,
according to you?
well, I mean, they want experience, even though it's entry level, is because here's where the cliche catch-22 is. Okay, take for example a quick example. Okay, because I've done it. I've been in management and had to choose this thing. So you want to hire somebody. Now you've got to hire a guy that's got no experience, but you hire also another guy that's got experience. You've got a choice, okay? Hiring the guy that's got no experience, fair enough, you can train him and mold him like you want him to work. You can do it like that. But he hasn't got the experience and to be able to jump different steps to get the job done more efficient, more faster. Then you've got a guy that's experienced who can do the positive. Yes, you can jump some steps, get the job done faster and more efficiently, but from a management point of view, you're going to think the guy's going to come with his own old stunts, crappy stunts that don't fit with the company. So that's where the catch is. You know what I mean? You got to choose. You got to decide: are you going to take the guy with the experience that can jump and get the job done more efficiently, however, come with his own different, or you take the guy that you can mold and train whatever, but it's going to take him longer to get the job done, and time is money. So that's why the guys want the experience, because why? You can just get the job done quicker, get the job done more efficiently. So they'll skip certain things, just, yeah,
And
money.
why it's so difficult for people who work but they cannot afford, like, to live a good life, though, like the life with they dream of?
We live in a country where, everything is about consuming. We as a whole people, we just consume, and we just want more. We want to live certain ways. But a lot of people live above their means, okay? So where I'm standing and where I talk to people is a lot of people are like, they live above their means. Now these people, I look at them and they're so stressed. They're talking about, but then the guy's got 5 cars, 2 houses, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, some people think, oh, that's the life I want. You're like, really, dude? That has got so much debt coming in his ears that he's not even sleeping at night. He's stressing out, he's stressing himself out because of that. Then you get another guy who's now got nothing and who's flipping happy because he's living in amongst his needs. And remember, it's all about pressure. Everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses. This one buys a new Mercedes, that guy wants to buy a new this one buys a new that. And so it escalates. Because nobody is just, how can I say it? Nobody's is just, happy with what they have. Nobody's just got an attitude of gratitude of, cool, this is what I have. Let me just be happy with what I have. People just want more all the time. And that's just the world we live in. I mean, who doesn't want more? But sometimes, it's not always, like, for example, kids. Great to have 4 kids. You can love 4 kids, but nobody can afford more than 1 kid. You know what I mean? So be grateful and give that one child the best you can, than being miserable because you don't have a boy or a girl because now you can't afford it. Don't just have more, because then you're going to end up giving the children the worst,
Life.
Exactly. That's basically the way I see it.
Tell us why in this country it's too much money, don't you think so? But, like, where's the money, like, goes to sometimes, though, for you? Like, for example, like the homeless people on the street and whatsoever.
Okay, look, there's a lot of money in this country, okay, fair enough. We've got a lot of outside investors, that kind of thing. You got a lot of, international investments, national companies, that kind of thing. There's plenty of money, but then when you got, for example, someone leading and they're spending how many billions on the house, where do you think that money is going? Where do you think, what could you do with that money? How many clinics, how many doctors could you stop from going overseas because they're unhappy, and rather paying them properly and keeping them here? You know what I mean? But now you want to spend billions on nonsense. They want to spend, How many millions of thousands a year on plane flights for ministers, or plane flights for this, to go have parties and go do this kind of thing when it's not needed? You know what I mean? For example, or renaming all the streets. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Cool. You don't want something that's got a negative attached to it, or a negative chip to it, to remind you all the time. But sometimes you need that reminder to show how far you have, developed. Instead of just being like, oh, that was negative. We need to change the name. You know how much money it's going to cost to change the names of the places, the streets, this, new atlases, new stuff printed, new road signs, new this, new that. That's money wasted.